Welcome to our third lesson. What makes a question philosophical? Last meeting, we learned what it means to be a philosopher. We learned that a philosopher is a lover of wisdom, a person who continues to search for wisdom by engaging in dialogue, asking questions. Today, we shall discover what is a philosophical question. For this lesson's learning objectives, there is a postmodern philosopher from the late 19th century. He is a German philosopher named Friedrich Nietzsche. He once said, "Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers, because we can identify a brilliant mind on the way he formulates critical questions rather than memorized answers. Because in philosophy, the continuous asking of questions is more important than the answers." But a philosopher begins his quest with ordinary questions. The questions like, what shall I eat today? What should I wear to school? What course shall I pursue when I go to college? Those are the ordinary questions we ask ourselves every day. Those are the questions we normally ask ourselves. They are personal questions, but they are not yet philosophical questions. Because philosophical questions are questions that has no clear-cut answers, questions without definite answers. Once in a while, we find ourselves asking questions that are not so common. Have you had that experience before when you look at the stars and then ask the question, is there life outside our planet? What lies beyond the universe? Does multiverse really exist? These are moments when we begin to ask further beyond our everyday questions. There is this Filipino philosopher, his name is Albert Alejo. He said that ang pamimilosopiya ay nagsisimula sa pagitan ng pagod at pahinga. So these are the moments when a person begins to wonder, begins to ask deep questions. Have you had that experience when you are alone, sitting comfortably somewhere, and then begin to ask deep and broad questions? Maybe in your own experience, when you are alone, when you are in the CR, in the bathroom, or when you are walking in a silent place. Here we can see the philosophical question move beyond specific concerns. They are not confined from the everyday concerns. Usually our specific concerns in life is, what shall I eat today? What shall I wear? It begins with an unease, yung feeling na hindi ka komportable, hindi ka mapakali. This feeling of inner discomfort comes from the experience of not being able to find immediate answer to our questions. Have you had that experience when you go outside your house, going somewhere, maybe going to school? Whenever you step outside your gate, you begin to wonder, parang may nakalimutan ako, hindi ka mapakali. And then when you reach to your destination, you discover that I really forgot something. I forgot my cell phone, maybe I forgot my charger, my laptop, I forgot my wallet. When we patiently wait for answers, we find our questions giving birth to more questions. So when you had that willingness to spend time to dig deeper into your mind, questioning things, then another question will pop up. That's what happens to philosophy. We have so many questions. Until that point, when we face this experience of being overwhelmed with questions, we decide to divert our attention, to relieve ourselves from the growing inner disturbance. Because we are not comfortable, we do not want this feeling. So I want to set myself free from this disturbance, from this discomfort. I begin to do other things. In our life, for example, in our modern times, we have many things to enjoy. We have the internet, we can watch YouTube, Netflix, search apps available on your phone. So you have all the things that can divert your attention from the inner disturbance caused by asking deep questions. We have Gabriel Marcel. He said that philosophical questioning begins with a metaphysical unease. The word metaphysical comes from a compound words. Meta means beyond. Physical is something that is tangible, something concrete, something that we hold, we can see. So metaphysical meaning beyond physical, something beyond we can touch, something beyond concrete. Gabriel Marcel says that this unease is described as metaphysical because the scope of the questions we ask covers something broader and deeper beyond what we physically see. So vast, not limited in a single area, not limited to something that we usually see, usually experience. Marcel says that many of us have become less sensitive, meaning are becoming insensitive to this feeling of inner disturbance because of what our world have become. People, especially in the modern times, do not feel this inner disturbance. The inner disturbance is caused by the continuous asking of deep questions. What happened to our world? According to Marcel, is that our world have been so designed to have an instant answer for everything so that we hardly move beyond practical everyday concerns. Notice, information is available in the split of seconds with our fingertips. We hold the world at the palm of our hand. Anything we want to know, we search it through our cell phone, internet, Google, YouTube tutorial. Even the simple adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing, we use our calculator in our cell phones. We want instant answer. Everything has been instant. Take note, if we want to eat, we order in the Food Panda because cooking your own meal would take you time. You want instant coffee, instant noodles. During the time, back in the day, if a person wants to drink coffee, before he can boil the coffee seed, the seed needs to be under the sun for a couple of days. But now we can drink coffee through the sachet, available in the sari-sari store. Gabriel Marcel says that the face of our everyday lives do not give enough room for moments to think about questions like, what is the meaning of life? Because we are living in a fast-paced, changing world. Every person, almost everyone is busy doing their things. Children going to school, people going to work. We are so busy, driven activism, that we rarely pause for a while and sit, relax, and ask questions. The questions like, what is the meaning of life? What's my purpose in life? Why am I born in the first place? Even our parents cannot answer that question. Bakit ka pinanganak? So those are deep questions in life. What happens to me when I die? Is there an afterlife? Those are deep questions that would disturb us, that will shake us. Our world today hardly encourages the asking of philosophical questions, for it is perceived as a waste of time. Sayang lang ang panahon. Why? Because when you ask questions, philosophical questions, it will evolve, progress, give birth to more and more deeper and deeper questions. And we don't have that time to entertain these questions. Take note, philosophical questions have no definite answers, have no clear-cut answers. Mathematics, if you know the formula, if you know how to solve, you can get the answer. But in philosophy, it takes time. Even until today, some questions have no definite answers. Now, there is no immediate guarantee that your questions will be answered, which is completely the opposite of our world of instant gratification. Kasi ngayon, we want instant. Yung gusto natin, masaya agad tayo. Ano yung mas makapagbibigay sa atin ng satisfaction in an instant? That is why, if we order from Lazada, from Shopee, pag matagal dumating, then we begin to be irritated. Gaya sa kong order eh. Accordingly, philosophical questioning takes time and appears to be useless. Now the question is there a value in philosophizing? It takes time, it's a waste of time, then it's useless enterprise. Wala akong nakuha if I waste my time in asking these questions. Ngayon, meron ba siyang halaga? Is there a value in asking these questions? Now here comes another philosopher from postmodern period. His name is Bertrand Russell. He is a linguistic philosopher. He said that philosophy, though unable to tell us with certainty what is true answer to the doubts which raises, is able to suggest many possibilities, which enlarge our thoughts and free them from the tyranny of custom. Take note, able to suggest many possibilities. Remember, a philosopher is someone who has that holistic perspective, entertains different perspective, not only focusing on his own one-sided, limited perspective, which enlarge our thoughts. Enlarge our thoughts. That's a good thing. To develop your way of thinking, to widen your way of thinking. What is tyranny of custom? Minsan we are not comfortable to accept changes. Custom is yung mga nakasanayan, things that are already there. Some people would be angry when things changes. Kasi sanay na sila sa anong nandun. A philosopher is not that kind of person. A philosopher is always willing to accept new changes, new possibilities. And then, Bertrand Russell added, he said, philosophy greatly increases our knowledge. Increases our knowledge, take note of that. Removes the arrogant dogmatism and keeps alive our sense of wonder. Just like a small child, maybe you have your siblings, younger siblings at home. Maybe your niece, your nephew. These young people, they always ask questions. They always want to know things. They have that sense of awe and wonder. Awe and wonder. What is that? What does that mean? What are you referring to? Those are the questions of these young people. What is arrogant dogmatism? According to Russell, people with arrogant dogmatism are those who think that their truths are permanently true without verifying, questioning, or reflecting on them. What I say is true. This is the perfect. This is the most fitting. So they settle for what is already there. But a philosopher does not accept what is already there. Because a philosopher continues to dig, continues to ask questions. To summarize, philosophical questions begins with ordinary and personal questions. Philosophical questions begins with an unease, an inner discomfort, which is metaphysical. Third, in our world today, we hardly ask philosophical questions because it takes time. And then lastly, we want comfort. Gusto natin relax lang. And so we become insensitive to the inner disturbance.